What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Breakthrough Society podcast. I'm your host, Irvin, and today we're doing our first in-person interview, and I got my friend Samuel Smith here. What's going on?
Irvin, man, it's great to have you in town, dude. It's been a minute since I've seen you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, for
um,
sure.
met you out in Florida at Zach's thing, and then we were in Dallas last month as well at the Apex meetup. So yeah, glad you could make it to my neck of the woods, mate. It's good to
Yeah,
see
of
you.
course, man. I had to make the drive out here. It's only 2 hours, so
Yeah, we're in College Station, Bryan, actually downtown, and Irvin got to walk through my construction site of an office today. So yeah, I don't pan the camera to the left. You'll see all kinds of tools and
yeah,
stuff.
we kept it in like a certain direction so you won't be able to see the rest.
It's okay. It's the magic of video, mate. That's why
Yeah,
we're here. But
yeah, yeah, man. So just tell the audience, what do you do?
well, I got all kinds of stuff that I do, but number one, podcasting. Obviously, I have
Yeah,
the Small Business Surgeon podcast, and that's how you and I met. But I've built that on the back of a real estate company. Live in College Station, and a media company. I own the Texas Media Foundry. And the reason my office looks like it does is because late last year we decided to fold up the corporate side of things and looking like wearing suits and having granite countertops in the office and everything else. And we decided to get our own little space in the heart of downtown Bryan and renovate it and turn it into something unique that we wanted to use. So yeah, it's definitely been a fun career so far, man. I was out with my drone this morning taking
Yeah,
taking pictures, and now I'm recording a podcast, and it's not like work at all, you know.
yeah, yeah. You're just having fun. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Pretty much, man. Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah. So we were saying that you were wearing like you had the granite countertops, you had the suit.
Yeah,
You were kind of like, that's what you think that you're supposed to look like whenever you're doing something with business, right?
absolutely, mate. And to be honest, it attracted the wrong kind of people.
Yeah,
I spent my first 2 years selling real estate, trying to please everybody. Like, we get asked the question a lot in our groups. Who's your ideal client?
yeah,
And when you first start out in real estate, you're taught that you're there to serve anybody that needs to buy or sell real estate. And you're really important, and you're a professional in the same category as a doctor or a lawyer. And in reality, you're not. And if you try to serve everybody, you end up bending this way and that way to try and accommodate everything you can. And you're not really ever true to who you want to be. And so that is when I had the epiphany from joining Apex and getting to studying a little bit of that. That's when I had the epiphany that, hey, maybe I should just be Sam and attract the people that are like Sam that Sam wants to work with. And that is, I mean, it took a little over a year building that likable, attractive character online, but now I do far more real estate business than I ever did wearing a suit. Look at me, I'm wearing a
nice.
t-shirt. It's like,
Yeah,
but so are you, and so are all my clients. People with tattoos, like, the guys watching will see, but the guys listening won't. But I've got quarter sleeve tattoos, and I've got a forearm tattoo, and there was a huge amount of pressure in the corporate real estate world to cover those up and wear
yeah,
long sleeves and everything else. And immediately when I got my headshots done for my rebrand, I had my tattoos out front and center. And you know what? It turns out people with tattoos buy houses just as much as people
oh yeah,
without tattoos. So yeah, definitely be true to who you are.
yeah. And that's something that everybody, like your parents, your family members, they instill in you right at an early age. You want to get a tattoo, and they're like, "Oh, how are you gonna get a job with a tattoo on your hand?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you're gonna
it's
have to
true,
wear a
man.
long sleeve all the time, because if not, you're not gonna get a job." So like you start believing like these kind of stuff,
Well,
like once you get older.
I totally bamboozled my dad because he wasn't a fan of me getting a tattoo.
Yeah,
But this tattoo here was out of his mother's office. It was an art print she'd had hanging on a wall for like 40 years. And so this is an exact copy of the art print that my dad's mom, had in her office. And he couldn't really say anything. He was like, oh, well, oh, okay then.
yeah,
And that was that. So yeah, my parents, and I think most people's parents are against tattoos. And honestly, I'd be mildly against my kid getting a forearm tattoo, but I didn't get this one till I was 36 and I was retired when I got it, so it didn't really matter. And then all of a sudden I was 37 and unretired, and I know, like, well, shit, I got to wear long sleeves. But no, I do much better at business by just being me and attracting the people that are like me.
yeah,
Then you you end up working with people like you, and it's always fun, you know.
Yeah.
So
And I think like if you try to play that, that character, um, people are looking at you like who's this guy kind of thing. And if you're yourself,
yes,
and people like meet you, your clients, and they're still gonna be like, well, who's this guy? But that's probably somebody that you don't want to do business with.
yeah, but you're not intimidated by me. Um, Me in a suit sitting across the table from a client in a t-shirt and jeans, it puts the client in the wrong mindset.
Yeah.
Um, and I wear generally V-neck t-shirts. Obviously, round one today, but I wear generally V-neck t-shirts and blue jeans and Skechers or sneakers, and more often than not, I'm sitting across the table from somebody that's dressed exactly like me. And if I was in a suit, it would be the wrong kind of emphasis in the conversation. It would just totally mess up the balance of the conversation. And my job as a real estate agent is to stand between the client and the transaction and get in the way of everything possible that's stressful for that client and absorb all that stress and take care of all of it. And they are much more comfortable with somebody that talks like them, that dresses like them, that resonates with them, doing that for them than they are with a guy in a suit. And I had nothing but, not nothing but I had so many poor experiences wearing the suit with clients that were quite misaligned with what I wanted to do, with my core values. And by just, it was as simple as changing what I wore and changing my online image from the realtor in the jacket that everybody wears to I'm the only one in this marketplace that wears t-shirts and shows his tattoos. And
Yeah.
it's just it's great, man. It's just great. I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, and I see like you got that Facebook group going on, and
Yes.
like I see all the posting that you do on social media, man. And like I read the comments sometimes, and yeah, like I see like you interact very well with everybody else on
Well,
there.
that's something I've learned over time. And the one thing I'd caution your listeners to remember is that people say, "Oh, you're so good at this," or "You're so good at that."
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with that. It's not luck. It's not talent. It is practice. It is actually just making the posts, making the videos. I can go back 3.5, 4 years now to my first videos that I ever made. I just cringe watching them. I cringe. I'm so
Yeah.
awkward, but it comes over time, and my social media is planned. It's done deliberately. It's done on purpose, in order to engage people, to entertain people, to keep people coming back to this likable, attractive character. And when I first started out, I felt a little bit fake, because I was trying to portray this guy that knew about real estate, that was wearing a suit and everything else. And then once I started just posting my day-to-day stuff and what I was thinking and what I really was thinking, and occasionally there would be, I mean, good lord, you would never say fuck in a corporate real estate environment. It would
Yeah.
never make it in a Facebook post, never. But now you don't put them in every post, but they slip out. It's in the vernacular. Normal people say fuck between each other. It's a relatively common word. And having the comfort to say that in a professional environment, it's made such a change in how my business operates. Yeah, the social media is all planned, mate.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah, dude. And I feel like you have I mean, we talked before about having your schedule set.
Oh God, yeah.
So how do you like do that, man? Because as you know, like that's something that I still struggle with.
Dude, I hate it. I hate having that little bug. Go, oh man, you should get a picture of this. Like this morning, I was out. I had to go and grab some footage of a new listing. I took my drone out real quick. It was up and down, just a 3 minute, just a couple of pictures. And I stopped, and I was longer laying on the ground with my camera on portrait setting, taking pictures of the drone for social media than I was doing the video shoot. I schedule my time every single day for social media. I got a 25-minute slot between 8:05 and 8:30 that I post purposeful stuff. And then on days when the podcast comes out, Monday and Friday, I have to schedule more time so I can do the podcast stuff. And then Wednesdays, I schedule time to do all my event stuff. I mean, it's like scheduled. It's it's not fun. It's not messing about. It's not scrolling news feeds and looking at stuff. It's done with a purpose. And you know, before I got really serious about my calendar, I still use yellow pad. You'll see them over there on the desk. I've got stacks of them. I'm very, I date every page. I'm very particular about my notes. I love having physical notes that I can touch and go back through and stuff. And I always thought, well, I don't need a calendar. I've got my notes. But honestly, the combination of having a calendar and having notes, you don't realize how much free time you've got in your day, or how much time, I wouldn't say free, but let's say unproductive time where you're not focused, time where you're not on a task. You know, like you'll just be coasting along on Facebook, and before you know it, you've burned 45 minutes scrolling a mile and a half down some news feed. And
you're preaching, yeah.
And it's just part of the digital distraction that we're dealing with, that's really started to come about in the last 10 years. It's so easy to lose focus. We're constantly. Do you remember, like, I don't know, you might be a bit young. Oh shit, maybe you said that. Like with these online chat rooms, you would always type BRB, like
be right back, yeah.
or AFK, away from keyboard. Like, we don't use that anymore. That's because, like, we're always online, like always. I had a friend hit me up the other night. I got some messages at like 6 in the morning. She's like, hey, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. She's like, you weren't online at all last night. Like, no.
Yeah.
It was great, you know. But that's the world we live in now, is where you're expected to instantly respond to everything, to text messages, to social media. And honestly, my calendar's been an absolute godsend. I am with you right now for the allotted amount of time that we're together. My phone's off. It's great. I'm not scrolling through messages. I'm not being distracted. We're focusing on task. And it's the same when I'm sitting with my clients. Having that calendar and being able to protect my time and being able to say, right, every morning, 10:30 to 11 o'clock is follow up with leads, send out the emails I need to send out, like every day. That's on there. Every morning, 8:30 to 10:30 is taken up with client meetings. And I book them up. I use calendar links to book them up. And knowing that my phone's going to be off till 10:30, and then 10:30 to 11 is check-in time. I'm going to check in with my messages. I'm going to check my emails. I'm going to follow up with my clients. I mean, it's so much easier. And you got Thomas Keenan to thank for that. You know, really, I always fought the calendar thing. Always fought it. I thought my notepad will be good enough. But boy, when I combine my notepad with my calendar, and then combine that with actual digital notes on my phone as well, now we're in business. Yeah. So how do you do it?
I mean, I have like the time slots on the calendar, but I mean, I'm still struggling with fucking with going to sleep early. So if I don't go to sleep early, like that fucks me up in the morning. You know, I don't wake up on time. Like I wake up a little bit later.
Yeah.
Because I would like to, like I have set already on my calendar, like wake up at like four, I think. Yeah,
Oh,
4.
God. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
My alarm goes off at 5:15, and you know, for the most part, I pay attention to it and get up. There's some mornings, especially like on weekends, that I might not feel like getting up at 5:15. It still goes off, but yeah, the hardest part of my day is getting out of bed and starting to move, getting that exercise in, getting that first workout in that's on the calendar. And if it's not on the calendar, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
You know? So you get up at 4 o'clock, man.
I mean, on a good day.
What is that like? I think there should only be one 4 o'clock in every day. I'm pretty adamant. I can do 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
But a good day should only have one 4 o'clock in it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like, it really depends what time you go to sleep. Because if you go to sleep like at 10, let's say, then you can probably get up at 4, like with ease.
Maybe I'm just a bit old.
Yeah.
I'm in bed by 10 to 10:30, and most nights, and I'm up by 5:15, 5:30 most days. And you know, then you want to sleep in on a weekend, it doesn't work. Like I recently rediscovered a passion for music. I was a professional musician as a teenager.
I saw the hair.
Yeah.
I saw.
Yeah. So like now, I'm getting home at like playing a show Friday night, getting home at 2 o'clock on Saturday morning.
Jesus.
I'm like, well, I'm not getting up at 5. But you know, you roll out of bed because you can't sleep. Like your body's used to being awake, and you're up at 7 o'clock. You feel like you got hit by a bus. But yeah, I definitely love playing music again. That's something I've missed. So I guess we work that into the schedule. And that's why this weekend on Facebook I was like, so I've scheduled this time off, and this is what I'm intending to do with it, you know. And it's not all work all the time as an entrepreneur, and it shouldn't be. It should be hard work when you're at work, and you should be focused when you're at work, and then on the time that you've allowed yourself to take off, you should take off.
Yeah.
It's all too easy to turn around and go, like this place, for example, right? I could quite easily have kept working on some sheetrock and knocking out the next bit of paint on Saturday, and I could have done it on Sunday as well, quite easily. But I needed that time for my kids. I needed that time to sleep in. I needed that time to go grocery shopping and stuff. You can't always be an entrepreneur. At some point, you got to be a dad, and you got to be just human, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I talked to Thomas a lot about that, where reading his book is like reading my life story from 2019, dude.
Dude, I think it's like reading all of our life stories. He does, like, Thomas makes the mistakes that just about every entrepreneur I know has made.
Yeah.
But, you know, the determined son of a bitch just kept going, and now look at him, you know. It gives me inspiration for sure.
Yeah, and I thought like 2019, I thought I had to like, you know, grind like the whole day. So I would literally leave my house like at 6, get back like at 10 at night, you know. So I thought that was like the grind. That's what I was supposed to do, and like trying to like incorporate the GCode more into my life, right? Like I realized like I was only like doing the third G, the grind.
Yeah.
And like I was missing all these other areas in my life, you know. And now it's like I'm trying to like incorporate all these, you know, that way you can have like that, you know, balance, I guess, between all the like the 4 areas.
I can't say enough how much the GCode has changed me, and I wish I could enjoy working on the genetics part a little more. You know, I don't know. I played soccer like you. Obviously, you got to quite a bit higher level than me, but I played all through my childhood. I played, you know, shit. I was even playing last year in City League, and it's just like my body just said, "Hey, you know what? We're done. Like, we've had enough." You know, I put my knee out. I bulged some discs in my back. You know, all from playing soccer. I had broken ribs, and at some point it was like, man, you know what? I'd rather just like go for a walk. So a lot of my genetic, a lot of my workouts, I'll go walk for an hour instead, because like as much as I miss running around the park and playing soccer, dude, I think I just cracked that age where my body's like, yeah, you don't want to be playing soccer no more, man, and that makes me sad.
Yeah.
I'm a little envious of you, you know.
So is it soccer or is it football?
That's football.
Yeah.
Yeah. Football, no doubt. Yeah, my team is having a rough ride this year, man.
Manchester City.
Liverpool. Liverpool. They're struggling.
Who plays it in like 8th, right?
I don't know this week. They've had it bad. I think they've had so many injuries. Their longest centre half pairing has been 2.5 matches. Like, that's just insane. They've got so many injuries to the squad. They're literally fielding what might as well be a reserve team right now. It's pretty bad. But you know, it's football. Some years you're on top, some years you're not, and you just keep supporting your team, and off you go with it.
Yeah, for sure.
The GCode is just. You might see a couple of copies of it laying around the office. I've given it to my guys out here, but GCode has just been like absolutely fundamental in me, like getting to that next level. And yeah, I wished, because you're what, 26?
Yeah.
So I wished I'd found it at your age. You know, when the first time I built a successful business, I didn't have a mentor, and I was at about 5-6% ROI, and I couldn't get it any higher than that. Couldn't get it profitable, and we did a lot of volume, but it wasn't a lot of profit by the end of the day. You know, and it was a car dealership, and I had nobody to go to with that. And the second time I built a successful business, I made so much money, I had nobody mentoring me with it. And, you know, I made significant mistakes, and I ended up losing that business. And now, boy, what I wouldn't give to go back 10 years and find like Apex and Arate and all you guys and podcasting and stuff, because back then there was no instructions. You just kind of had to wing it and hope you didn't fail. And now there's guys that have just laid out blueprint after blueprint for us in social media and in podcasts and stuff. And there's all the resources. So man, I mean, you've got such a great fucking future ahead of you, dude. I mean, yeah, you really do. Good head on your shoulders. You got a fucking good little business going, and you're gonna go far, dude.
Yeah, so tell us about the first business.
The first business was a car dealership. That was it was a real estate flip. I started out flipping houses in my early 20s, and this was a real estate flip. It was a derelict car lot, and I grew up around cars. I grew up working on them and stuff, and I was 30, 29, 29 30, somewhere around that age. I don't remember, and I thought, well, I'll buy it and I'll flip this car lot because it was a great location, and it ended up being fuck it, what could go wrong? And we got licensed to sell cars, and then I got licensed by the OCCC to originate credit, and then I hired a couple of guys to work in the shop in the back, and then we went out and spent like $40,000 on 5 cars and saw what happened, man. And it grew. I had it 3.5 years before I sold it, and it grew to where we were doing between 22 to 28 cars a month pretty consistently. And I just couldn't get that because I was leveraging myself, and it's another reason I don't really borrow money these days. I'll borrow money for a real estate asset, and that's about it. I try to pay cash for everything. I'm just uncomfortable waking up with debt. And I know that's not the business plan for everybody. I know some people have higher risk tolerances than I do, but I've been through it to where I've leveraged myself and lost stuff, and I just don't fancy it anymore. So part of the car dealership was, by the time it was all said and done, we were paying well into 5 figures every month in floor plan fees and interest and everything else, because I was leveraged for, my credit line was close to $2 million on floor plan, on inventory. So $2 million sounds like a lot, right? But when your cars are $20,000 each, and you got 20 cars, and that's 400 grand, and you've got 10 more on a transport somewhere, and then you've got 5 more waiting to be funded deals that have sold, and it stacks up pretty quick. Yeah. And we would average between 800,000 and 1.2 million in outstanding, like at any given time. So you do have high interest to pay on that. You've got fees and stuff, and it worked, but I just couldn't get above like 5-6% ROI, and I was working a lot of hours, and I was into internet marketing as well. That's how I was selling cars, and I fell back more into the affiliate marketing side of things, selling products online, and I ended up selling the car dealership to some guys that they went out of business about 18 months after I sold it to them. Well, I sold the business and leased the building, but I kept the land, and then I turned around after that, and I sold the land off to a real estate developer and made back the profit on the flip, and I made some profit on the car dealer. I mean, it wasn't a bad experience. It was just a lot of work, and I found other ways that I could work fewer hours and make more money. So, you're not, like, I've got a plan, but I'm not committed to anything. Dude, if I find a way to work fewer hours, make more money, and most importantly, impact more people's lives, you think I won't walk away from real estate in a minute? I love real estate. It's absolutely great. It's phenomenal. But there's no game plan for me that says I got to go out and sell 600 houses in a year. No, dude, if I can find stuff I like to do that pays me more than I'm currently making, then why would I pursue that opportunity? And that's what happened in the car business, and that's what happened with the supplements at the time. I got to where I couldn't get credit card processing because we were part of a network crash that there was a whole lot of credit card fraud. And I thought, well, what can I do that pays me about the same amount of money that I'm going to enjoy? And I was hired by a real estate company to train their agents in marketing, and then I was like, well, wait a minute, I can do this. And sure enough, almost 4 years later, here I am, and we're doing real estate quite well. And that's not to say that as podcasting takes off, and through no intent of my own, I have a business owners group here in town on Facebook. It's got nearly 700 members in it now, and people from the group have started hiring me as a business consultant to help them on their journeys. So yeah, if I can replace my real estate income with something that's more profitable and more viable, and then I can sell a real estate company, sure, that's just part of being an entrepreneur, man. It's part of the journey. If somebody said to you, Irvin, you're going to make $1 million doing electrical contract in this year, or you can make $5 million committing to podcasting, coaching, and speaking engagements. You might just hang up your electrical pliers, might you know?
Yeah, frame them up in the wall or something like that.
Yeah, but that's where I started. And I'm not tied to real estate. I'm not tied to media. I'm not tied to Texas Media Foundry. If a better opportunity comes along, I've built all of my stuff with an end goal of selling everything anyway. I don't want to be 50 years old in 10 years' time and operating a media company. I don't want to be 50 years old and selling real estate. I want to be on a beach somewhere. Yeah, own a bar on a beach. I think that's all of us want, right?
Yeah.
Just better than the one we went to in Florida.
For sure, due to the weather. Yeah. Dude, how important were those like learning experiences from the first businesses that you failed and what you struggled with to where you are now?
You can look back with regret and go, I wish I hadn't failed. Like when I sold my car dealership, I was pretty depressed. I was pretty affected by it in that, I didn't feel like I'd succeeded. I sold it because I just fucking quit because I was tired of working 70, 80 hours a week, being tied to this bitch, and putting 150 grand a year in my pocket. I'm like, that's just bullshit. That's too much work. I had come from a legal background. I was AAPL landman, and I would go around doing oil and gas leasing legal work, and I would make anywhere from 120 to 150,000 a year on a 40-hour week. So for me to double my hours, and I was annoyed, I was irritated, I was pissed off when I sold it. I didn't want to quit, but I just couldn't justify 80 hours a week for 150 grand a year. I was done, absolutely just fucking over it. And the lesson I took from it was, wait a minute, I'm 32 or 33 years old or whatever old I was. I just sold my car dealership. Like, where's your fucking car dealership, dude? You didn't build one. You didn't start with a field and a fucking derelict building and renovate a building and pour asphalt in a field and put concrete curbs up and plant trees. You didn't do any of that shit. I did it. And I'm like, wait a minute. That's how it feels, right? So the depression gave way to a little bit of pride and go, you know what, I did it. I'm 33 years old. I sold a profitable business. I can go do it again. And, the major lesson is, like, I would never trade any of the experiences. Yeah, I'd love to shortcut it. Yeah, I'd love business coaches that could have bailed me out and shit. Sure I would, but I'd never trade that experience because, again, I didn't lose money on the investment. I paid money to figure out how to do it and figure out how not to do it. And you got to see your losses as just building foundations. That's all they are. You will shit the bed occasionally as an entrepreneur. And I don't care if you've got a 5-figure company or a 7-figure company. There's going to come a day where you shit the bed and you go, whoops. And you might have enough capital to get over it, you might not. But being an entrepreneur is a constant cycle of failure. And then you go as hard as you can until you fail again. You take that lesson, you go as hard as you can until you fail again. And it's like, I equate it to go-kart racing, right? Most people with jobs at the go-kart track, they just go round and round the track and they get a little faster over time. Pretty much every entrepreneur at the go-kart track, it's the first thing they do. Smash it into the wall. They go as fast as they can, they smash it into the wall, they go, right, I'm going to come around this next lap, I'm not going to go quite that fast. And then they go as fast as they can again until they smash it into the wall again. And that's why entrepreneurs always win at go-kart racing. It's the truth, man. It's the truth, I swear.
Yeah, nice, man. That's awesome.
That's the lesson, man. Don't ever give up. Just keep on going and use the failure to build your foundations.
Cool, man. So as we're running out of time here, just I have one last question, and then you can just tell the folks where they can find you, where everything's at right now.
Oh, right on. Yeah, you can get a hold of me on Instagram at Small Business Surgeon. You can get a hold of me on Facebook at Small Business Surgeon. And most importantly, you can run on over to iTunes and search for us at the Small Business Surgeon Podcast. Yeah, follow us along.
Yeah, I just have one last question.
One more.
What part or what like event in your life do you define as your breakthrough moment?
Oh, fuck. That's easy. Yeah. So we haven't touched on this at all. I lost my second business due to overabundance of money. We were it was literally like printing money. My second business was selling supplements online. Had my own supplement brand, and I won't touch on how much I lost, but it was a significant amount. And I was drinking excessively, like so much so that I would drive past different liquor stores just so the one liquor store wouldn't recognize me from coming in too much.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that. I mean, I would start drinking at 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning and just go, and that'd be it. And so February of 2017, a real close friend of mine, he lost his long-term partner. They weren't married, but they've been together for about 10 years, and he lost her. I think she was 46, and it was due to alcohol. And she got that thing where they turn yellow and they get really big. They can't process. I forget what it's called, but it's the thing that alcoholics get when the liver fails. She got that, and I was around her at the end of her life, helping to like turn her and wiping bed sores, and it was absolutely fucking awful. And there's me, 36 years old at the time, just drinking every day and trying to pretend that this wasn't going to happen to me in 10 years because she was only 46. And 46, beautiful, life of the party, just like to drink a lot. It degenerated into drinking far too much and killing her. And that May, middle of that May was when my business collapsed, and we got tickets to go to England to stay with my family. My little sister was she was getting married, and we were just drunk every day. I mean, it's a wedding, and the very last night, I remember I was sitting up till probably about 1 a.m, just drinking whiskey with my dad, just sitting around a fire talking, and anyway, quick nap, and then 5 o'clock the next morning, I was leaving. It was about 5:15. We were leaving for the airport, and my mom, she hugged me goodbye, and she whispered in my ear. She whispered, "Sort your fucking life out." And that was kind of it. That's my defining moment. Watching my friend's wife die from it, and watching my company collapse. And then, boy, when your 63-year-old mother tells you to sort your fucking life out, you know you messed up. Those are the exact words she used. My mom doesn't swear, and that was a defining moment for me. After that, I got on the airplane, and I got to sit down to order a double Jack and Coke, and I thought, well, maybe I'll just hold off on a Jack, and I'll just have Coke. And then I got home, and I'm like, man, I haven't had a drink today. I'll just go to bed. You know what? And I went to bed, and the next day I was like, man, I wonder if I could not have a drink today, and I didn't. And that's how it's been almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years in June. And I do it the same every day. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to have a drink today. Might have one tomorrow. Not going to have one today. Be all right. So I never said to myself, I'll never drink again. There's a good chance that maybe one Christmas Eve, as I'm sitting around a fire with my dad and he pours a glass of scotch, I might have a sip. There's a real good chance, but I'm in control, and that's the thing. And so that was my defining moment, mate. Sorry, that was a little bit deeper than you wanted.
Yeah, no, it's all good, dude. It's
my defining moment. Yeah,
I'm
man. Drinking.
Yeah, one day at a time.
Yeah, and anybody's struggling with that, dude. Now, my podcast and through my coaching and stuff, my objective is just to help people. And the one thing I've learned since joining these networking groups that are full of entrepreneurs, and I'm talking about honest entrepreneurs as well, the guys at the Chamber of Commerce and the guys at the Realtors Association, they're never going to show you the raw side of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
they're all going to be out there in the suits. They're all going to be out there trying to one-up each other and look good in front of each other and all that shit.
Yeah.
But really joining networking groups with real business owners that talk about real shit.
The struggles and all that.
Every single person has been an alcoholic or had a drug problem or been to jail or had a divorce or had a bankruptcy. Every single fucking one of them. And, if I can help entrepreneurs, even one or two, just get off of alcohol and kick it one day at a time and focus on their businesses and focus on their families. And, my marriage collapsed because of stupid shit I did while I was drinking. I mean, that's just how it is. That's the reality of it. And it's something that if I can help other people through that, knowing that it's such a common trait in entrepreneurs, and we've all had drinking problems, and we've all had marriage problems, and we've all had business problems. Dude, if I can help through that, that's my purpose now. That's my calling. That's why I'm here, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome, man. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show.
Man, thank you so much for having me on, dude. It's been a pleasure. I'm glad you got to come to my neck of the woods and hang out.
Yeah. Thanks for having us, yeah.
Dude, it's gonna look a whole lot better the next time you come by. I
Oh, yeah.
promise. yeah.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Well, dude, I appreciate you, man. And again, for your listeners, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Small Business Surgeon, and over on iTunes at the Small Business Surgeon Podcast. Irvin, dude, thank you.
Hell yeah,
appreciate
man.
you coming out.
Hell yeah, man, for sure.
Oh, she goes a call.
All right.
All right. Let's do
Cool, man.
a nice marker for the end there with the clap.
All right.